Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. On the broadcast tonight, we go playoff racing for the first time in the XMS RICMOTECH Truck Series, coming to you live from Long Pond, Pennsylvania, up in the Pocono Mountains. It's Pocono Raceway with the longest straightaway, or now second to longest straightaway on the NASCAR circuit. But before we go any further, let me bring up my broadcast partner on all these Tuesday evenings. It's Mr. Gary Wells.
With the exception of New Hampshire, AJ, you're right. It's every Tuesday, but no, good to be here with you in the booth again tonight. Pocono Raceway, opening race of the XMS Racing Playoffs here for the RICMOTECH Truck Series. Really excited for this race. Pocono puts on a pretty good show here normally, so anxious to see. We call this the Tricky Triangle because we got 3 different corners with 3 different types of banking, and we got 3 different straightaways, and guess what? They're all 3 different lengths.
And they all are based off of 3 different racetracks. Gary, do you have...
which are still running today.
I was going to say, do you have those racetracks? I know Trenton Speedway, I think Indianapolis, and I'm trying to remember the last one.
Milwaukee.
There you go.
Joe's going to be disappointed in you.
Probably. It's usually a safe bet. But Gary, why don't we run down some of the stats for tonight's race? We're going 90 laps, 180 miles. We have a stage break at that lap 35 sets of tires for these drivers in the pits. We're looking at anywhere from 18 to 22 laps, depending on how good drivers can save, or if they just want to go run it dry on a fuel run. But let's break down the previous races here at Pocono Raceway, and for that, Gary, take it away.
Yeah, so the last 3 races here, I was crunching the numbers the other day. We average anywhere from 7 to 9 different leaders and about 12 lead changes, roughly, give or take. So I'm expecting we'll probably be somewhere within that same frame here tonight. These trucks do get strung out here at Pocono. We will have mini packs here and there, maybe 3 to 5 trucks here and there. But for the most part, I think we're going to see a race that gets pretty strung out here. Clean air is king. I've noticed the driver that has led the most laps here in the last 3 races, AJ, has gone on to win the race. So being up front, qualifying in that top 5 is going to be super, super important here tonight. And cautions, we don't get a lot of them here. Anywhere from 2 to 3 cautions a race. I know season 19, the last season we ran here at XMS at Pocono, we had 1 caution, and that was for, I believe, the stage. So that right there should tell you, historically at Pocono, AJ, we're going to have a pretty green race here tonight.
Yeah, and as qualifying is currently finishing up, just a couple more drivers on the racetrack, let's talk about those points coming into tonight's race. And let's start off with those team points. Primetime Motorsports with a 14-point lead over Team GTS in third. You have Access Racing Team with 816, Carroll's Racing with 804, and then a little bit of a drop-off to Crimson Knight Esports with 691 and Warrior Enterprises with 552. But for everybody at home, here is the driver standings. All the blue drivers are your playoff contenders, just like on the tower. Opplinger with a 20-point lead over Daniel Krim in second, and then it starts to trickle down from there. In third, you have Dalton Fredericks. Fourth, Ed Morris. Paul Irvin in fifth. In sixth, Mike Rominger. Michael Thwaites in seventh. And in eighth, the final transfer spot, because we have to start talking about that too now, Gary, is Matt Cochran. And then you have Caleb Bacon -1, Joe Darnell -2, Josh Vidal minus, what is that, 4, and then Ben Corson -5. So that
we could do math.
Hey! I had a long day. I had a long day at work. I come home. I had a very nice and filling dinner. Might have had some turkey in it, so that tryptophan is doing a heck of a job right now. But that group right around that cut line, from anywhere from Thwaites or even Rominger, Thwaites, Cochran, Bacon, Darnell, Vidal, and Corson, all we could see bounce anywhere. As I'm gonna have to reset the overlay, Gary, because as you can see, it glitched out.
Oh, hello. Yep. And we do have qualifying has just ended. So we have got our pole sitter here. Everybody's lined up on the grid. It is Michael Thwaites. So we're going to pull him in here for a quick interview while you're resetting your stuff here.
Yeah, Gary, if you could take care of that, because I'm still trying to...
Michael, it's Gary in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you're starting on the pole here tonight. You did really good. You beat out Bacon by 1/1000th of a second. Talk about your expectations here tonight going into this race. How do you feel about Pocono? And you've ran decent here in the past in other cars. How do you stand in the end of the truck series here?
I mean, it felt pretty good in practice, so we'll see how it feels in the race. During the race feel and everything. So we'll see.
All right. Well, good luck to you here tonight, and hopefully we'll be talking to you here later on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that's Michael Thwaites.
All right. Well, that was actually a very usually it takes a couple hits to get everything to reset. I only had to smack my my tower once, and if Joe heard me say that, I'd probably get in trouble for that. But let's run down the starting lineup. We just talked to Michael Thwaites, our pole sitter. Caleb Bacon, outside pole. In row number 2, you have Eric Driggins and Justin Opplinger. Row 3, Christopher Opplinger and Dustin Carroll. Row 4 brings you Christian DeBoer and Ed Morris. And rounding out the top 10, in row number 5, it's Ben Corson and Joe Darnell. Gary, if you wouldn't mind, take us the rest of the way, pal.
Yeah, in 11th place here, we've got I'm sorry. I've had a long day, too. Matt Cochran at 11th, everybody. 12th place is going to be Mike Campigio. 13th is Logan Koger. 15th is going to be 14th is going to be Trevor Klein. 15th is Daniel Krim. 16th is Trenton Branson. 17th is going to be Paul Irvin. 18th, Josh Vidal. 19th is going to be Kyle Miller. Ed Morris Sr. in 20th. And rounding out the field, we're going to give it a bonus here. Brant Humphrey in 21st.
Now, Gary, I know you have some keys to victory here. What are they?
Well, I kind of already attributed to it earlier in the race summaries, but track position going to be very important here. If you're qualifying in the top 5, which you look at it here, you've got Thwaites, you've got Bacon, you've got Driggins, you've got the Opplinger brothers. Those are probably going to be your main contenders. It seems like the winner in the last 3 races here has come from that top 5 spot. So track position is going to be going to be king. Clean air, also king. If you could get the maximum downforce on your race truck, you're going to be running pretty darn good all night long. And then, of course, lastly, don't do what I did at Talladega last week, and don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself. Don't go through too many pit boxes. Don't speed on pit road. Don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's a very long race. Very long race.
Very long and wide pit road. It's got some hills in it, so it's very easy to speed here at Pocono Raceway on this pit road. So managing your stuff here in the pits, that's going to be the big thing. And then, of course, don't be making any mistakes on track as well.
Well, here's the thing, Gary. We know pits close with 2 to go like they do every week. If you're anywhere within about 10 to 15 seconds of the race leader, you can pit right before everything closes and not lose a lap. So I wonder how many drivers are going to take advantage of that if they're a little bit further back in the running order, as we have trucks peeling off a pit road. Gary, if you had to pick a driver, who you looking at tonight?
Well, I am actually looking at Kyle Miller. I think he could be a guy coming from the back. We saw it last week at Talladega. He tends to play the beginning of these races pretty quiet, just falling in the back, see where everybody starts. But I think he's in the back because of probation. But he could be a driver that we could see later on making his way toward the front.
Yeah, I like that pick. And we saw last week at Talladega where, unfortunately, it just bit him on a late run. But I'm actually going to take the driver of the number 4 Cheat Cheese, Matt Cochran. I think we have a couple racetracks coming up that are going to benefit his style of racing. So I'm very curious to see how well that 4 is going to do as we are going through the tunnel turn right now. You see the trucks with the light blue on the back of their... Well, they got the banner going across the windshield and the spoiler on the back. The XMS RICMOTECH Truck Series Dodger Blue.
I can't believe you said it.
I think we're missing a couple drivers, Gary.
I think we are too.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We only have 10. As here we go, Pace Truck is off. And for the first time, the XMS RICMOTECH Truck Series is playoff bound. Green flag in the air. They are even for the most part as they go into turn 1. A little bit of separation on exit as Thwaites is going to take the lead. Caleb Bacon going to follow suit in second. And Justin Opplinger in the 51, third truck on the racetrack, is going to take that third position as we are still 2 by 2 going through the tunnel turn, which could be very scary for these drivers, Gary.
Yeah, got to be very, very iffy as the race goes on if they try to go double file through there. Really tame on this restart. We only had one guy make it 3 wide going into turn 1. I figured it'd be a little less tame than that. We'll see what happens this time around as we see Caleb Bacon and Michael Thwaites still side by side like it's a pace lap.
And we're 4 wide in the back. And now back down to 3 wide. There's the 5 of Kyle Miller. Gary, you mentioned he's going to be aggressive on the restart right underneath the 24 of Mike Campiggio.
Yeah, and I think Mike is just going to do the gentleman's thing here. Probably just let him go. Mike's always one of those guys where he'd rather pace himself early on in these races. But wouldn't be too shocked if he let the 5 go right here. As his best friend, Josh Vidal, is side by side with the 5 here, exiting turn number 2.
Yeah, I've been on this racetrack. I've been in a couple races on the sim here at this racetrack as well. That tunnel turn is no joke. To go 2 by 2, it's sketchy.
I've gone 3 wide there before and lived to tell about it. So it's very sketchy. 2 by 2, 3 wide. Normally you wreck. But, you know, tonight here so far, everybody's been able to maintain it pretty well so far through here.
As we had a pass for the lead in 1, moved Caleb Bacon up to P1 and Thwaites back down to P2.
Yep, and he's got his Caleb's teammate, Justin Opplinger, right there in P3. Going to make a move here on Michael Thwaites here this time.
Into turn number 3, the flatter turn 3.
Yeah, and even Eric Driggins was able to send it in there on Thwaites that time. Not going to be able to complete that pass. Thwaites does get a pretty good run on that middle lane through turn 3, and he's able to stick it pretty well.
Out of everything, Gary, you want a really good turn 3. Because that gives you the whole shot going down the front stretch, and it is a very, very long way down towards turn 1.
Yeah, it's a very long straightaway here. Definitely the longest straightaway oval-wise on the NASCAR circuit. Of course, right up there with Coda's, back straightaway.
Which they
it's a
aren't
pretty
using
long
anymore.
straightaway as well. Well, you know what? You're right. They're going to the short course this year. Thank God. As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Coda, so when I heard that they were shortening the track, I was very, very thrilled.
I think it'll help the racing.
I think it'll help the racing too there. But yeah, kind of like Coda, when they used to run down back straightaway, that was probably the longest straightaway in NASCAR. But this is the longest straightaway, I guess you could say, oval-wise, even though this isn't an oval.
It's a triangle.
Exactly. It's an obtuse triangle.
Ooh, great. Big boy words.
Big boy words there. Well, it could be a right triangle, because turn 2 is kind of at a 90 degree. I'm sorry.
We weren't going to do math, Gary.
I'm sleep deprived. I'm sorry. My mind goes everywhere.
Well, Caleb Bacon, 5 laps in, trying to hold on to P1 as he's got his teammate of the 51 cutting to the inside after a really good turn 3. Heading down into
Opplinger is able to get through turn 3 really well. It seemed like Caleb kind of cut off his exit there at turn 3, which that can scrub your tires and scrub your momentum, where Justin let the truck get out of the corner more naturally, and that's how he was able to get such a good run. And it helps being in the draft as well. The draft will play a little bit of a role here tonight, AJ, as far as being able to set yourself up for a slingshot type of pass. But the dirty air here, as you see a lot of these trucks, single file, nose to tail, it's going to make handling very difficult as this run progresses.
As around the roof cam of Michael Thwaites getting through turn 3. And we're going to stay right here so you can get a look at what the draft looks like as he's trying to get a tow from Caleb Bacon.
Yeah, and he's able to stay in that draft pretty well. This is probably the only corner where we'll see the drivers use any type of brake. They might use some brake in turn 2. Not really, though. They're really going to be close to wide open as possible through turn 2. I know that's crazy, but in these trucks you can do it, especially on new tires. As the run goes on, you'll get your left side tires below that yellow line of the tunnel turn, just to make that truck rotate a little bit more. And then turn 3, you'll probably do a little bit of braking here just to set the nose of the truck, to set up your exit of the corner. But really, the heavy braking zone, AJ, and we're going to have to monitor this throughout the night, is turn number 1.
29 of Darnell.
Joe
really
Darnell
loose.
sending it, man.
Really loose out of 3. That was sketchy. I thought he was going to overcorrect and possibly go head first into the wall.
Yeah, he lived on to tell the tale on that one. Kind of like my 3 wide here a couple years ago in the next gen car here at Pocono. We went 3 wide for the lead, and I came out as the leader. I was pretty impressed.
Probably felt like
myself.
Superman.
Oh, I did. I can't even begin to tell you. The guys that were battling for the lead originally were, as Driggins pops the wall there.
That wasn't Driggins. That was the 35 of Caleb Bacon.
Oh, it was the 35. My apologies. Pocono stripe is real here as well at the exit of turn number 2.
Here it is.
This place, you will pop the wall here at some point. It's just a matter of how hard you hit it. And it's all about how you get through the tunnel turn as well. That'll set you up as far as whether you're going to hit the wall on exit or you're going to be just fine.
Caleb Bacon is fighting that truck.
Yeah, I think he burned up his tires a little bit here, which is very easy to do, to burn up your right front here. Especially, being the leader and you've never really had to pace yourself on an oval as a leader before. I'm giving Caleb a little bit of the benefit of a doubt here, because he hasn't been up front much this season when it comes to the oval side of things. So you really don't know how to pace yourself, and he kind of paid for it here. Getting into this run, because the best guy that can keep their truck rotating and keep turning really well backing up their corners throughout the rest of this race. We're probably going to see them in victory lane.
Yeah, and that's not to take anything away from Caleb Bacon. He had a phenomenal win at Canadian Tire. And when it comes to the oval side, to your credit, Gary, you mentioned it, he has been getting better, and I think if he can get to Charlotte with any sort of around the cut line, he might move on just off of that, as we are side by side right behind him.
I thought we were going to see a wreck. I thought it was going to happen.
It still might.
Yeah. The way Joe sent that in there into turn 2 was not a great idea. We got pit stops already here, AJ. The 56 of Christian DeBoer, he knows he can make it to the end of the stage. And I was just getting ready to say, as we were talking about Caleb's road racing prowess, this place you could kind of approach like a road course to a certain degree, especially with the strategy here. And Christian DeBoer knows he can make it to the end of the stage here, as we got about 20 laps left in the stage. So he's going to go ahead and pit, take his tires, take his fuel, and get back out there.
For everybody watching at home, we do have that stage caution at lap 30. Oh, this is the 92 smacks the wall coming out of turn 2. You weren't kidding. Turn 2 is going to be an issue spot for a lot of these drivers, Gary.
Yeah, turn 2 here usually promotes, because you're pushing it so hard, it's always going to be that little tricky spot there in turn 2, especially with how you have to drive the tunnel turn. One little mistake and either going too far or not going hard enough, it's going to cause a wreck. And if you go too hard, you get tight on exit and you hit the fence. But if you go too slow through turn 2, you lose a bunch of time. So you really have to pace yourself through that corner.
And with everything going on up at the front of the pack with Thwaites pitting, that's going to put almost a 1.5 second lead between Opplinger and Bacon for first and second. And then you drop back to Dustin Carroll about another second back, and he's right in front of Ed Morris leading a pack.
Yeah, and Dustin didn't make the playoffs, so he's trying to play a little bit of spoiler here tonight, running the 5th spot and running very well.
Oh!
And Driggins is going down pit road.
I thought the 10 of Corson was gonna smack him.
I thought he was gonna spin him too.
Yikes. But glad to have you all watching with us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or even TikTok. Glad to have you here. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow. Everything helps out the channel. And talk to us. Chat rooms are open. Who you rooting for? What have you thought of the race so far? What are you thinking of the strategy some of these drivers are hitting, where once you're able to make it to the stage, drivers hitting pit road? Gary, you mentioned running it like a road course. While that can benefit you, if you don't get a caution, I feel like the guys up front that stayed out might benefit from that, just for taking possibly right side tires and the little bit of fuel that they need.
Well, even with some of these guys that just pitted, I'm looking here, and I see DeBoer, his pit stop was only 6.6 seconds, so I think he probably took just rights only and just topped it off with fuel. Now, the other two drivers, the 21 and the 12, looks like they got full service. So
yeah,
DeBoer definitely has the right strategy here with only taking 2 tires. But, I mean, it could entice some of these guys up front too, AJ, to where maybe they could save and try to stretch it. It's a long stretch because, I've got the max window at 22 laps. But, it could be to where maybe they can stretch it 8 laps. It's not impossible. It's just very hard to do.
Here comes Joe Darnell, and last time by, Michael Thwaites, fastest truck on the racetrack, a 53.61. That's about 0.05 faster than anybody else on the racetrack, and the only one close to that is Eric Driggins in the 21.
Yeah, and of course those guys have just pitted for tires, so they're going to be well on their way. As we got Joe Darnell making his way out of the pits right now.
Now, where is the merge line coming out of one?
It is right there. The blue cone, the blue line is right there where that opening is, and the yellow line going into turn one.
Oh, wow.
So they can merge up right there into the bottom lane. Now, they have that apron there in case there's traffic, and of course those guys will stay on the apron if there is traffic as they're trying to merge back onto the track.
Yeah, we don't
so
want
it's
to see
really,
a
if you're clear, you'll merge normally. If not, you'll stay on the apron as we got more pit stops here with the 92 and the 10.
Along with the 54, 24, and 32 hitting pit road.
A lot of pit stops here. And I had a feeling this is where we're going to see the majority of the pit stops, splitting the stage in half, which is about what these guys have done, and come in here, get their service, and head on back out there. A lot of these guys are taking 4 tire stops and filling it up with gas. A lot of 14 seconds, 13 sixes.
Here comes the 51.
Actually, Dustin with a 13.6 right there, and everyone else was a 14.1. So
And
Opplinger here in the pits. So
that's going to give the lead over to Ed Morris, Gary. That's going to allow
give
the
lead
7 to lead a lap.
The boss man going to get a point. And it looks like Josh Vidal also took tires. He had an 8.2 second pit stop. So it seems like De Boer and Vidal are on the same strategy here.
I think right now is we're going to see some drivers try to stay out as long as possible just to get that bonus point out of the way of leading a lap. Kind of like what we just saw with Ed Morris. Logan Kogar in second. Third, you have the 4 of Matt Cochran.
Yep, the 4 of Matt Cochran here. I think you're right, though, AJ. A lot of these guys trying to get their point, which we are seeing that with Ed as he is down pit road now.
And boom, there goes Logan Kogar. Your first truck on pit road was Christian De Boer, currently in that 10th spot. Michael Thwaites right in front of him. They're still running blazing lap times. That's up to 9th place, and he's currently 32 seconds back to the race leader, as we should be expecting Kogar, Cochran, Krim, Klein, Humphrey, Miller, and Ed Morris Sr. coming down pit road within the next couple laps.
Yeah, it's all about a numbers game. If you can fully send it and make maximum grip, maximum lap time every lap, you're going to be one of those guys where if you're like an Opplinger, you don't need to do any special kind of strategy to get up front for stage points.
And the 25 is going to stay out another lap.
He just wants some TV time. Let's give it to him.
RICMOTECH going right by us. You see XMS on the hood.
By the way, I don't know if I brought this up last week, but we got Matt Cochran in second, and Chi Cheese is back. Oh, who's spun? Who's that?
That's the 72, Brent Murphy.
Brent, you can't park there. Let's see what happened to the old 72 machine.
He's looking good.
I bet you he passed his stall. How much you want to bet?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Here he comes. Here is the... Oh, he locked it up.
Will iRacing let you pit backwards, like they do in real life?
You have to be all 4 tires facing the forward direction.
Ed Morris Sr. hitting pit road.
Ed Morris Sr. hitting pit... Oh, sorry. I was thinking 7, not 28.
That's why I said the senior, Gary.
Yeah, I know. I still messed that up. Isn't that incredible?
But we have a battle for second. This is before they hit pit road, mind you. But Cochran and Krim nose to tail as they go through the tunnel turn.
Yeah, Cochran is... Krim is really bound and determined to make this pass here. Daniel's able to get some really good run on exit. Look at how he's able to get through the center so much better than before.
And there goes Kogar.
Who's going to lead this lap? Oh, I think it was Matt by a nose.
Yeah.
0.019 right there was the margin.
Krim's got the line going into turn number 1 here.
Now, there are some pretty nasty bumps in that line that Daniel just took. It seemed like he got through turn 1 right there pretty okay, and he's still pulling away on the 4.
Yeah,
now, did I tell you that Chi-Chi's is back?
You did?
Chi-Chi's is back, y'all. I'm excited for the Mexican restaurant to reopen. It's a good time.
I think you were having like a party in Discord a couple days ago when you found out.
Hey, it was a good place to go to as a kid, man. I'm telling you.
And then I was like, I don't think we have any of those around us. And then I stumped everybody when I said, we don't even have Wawa around me.
That is true. I mean, I don't have a Wawa around me, so.
Cochran hitting pit road. Daniel Krim, now he's going to get a lap lead.
He got his point.
Now we'll see if
and that's
Trevor
exactly
Klein...
what he was looking for, and that's what I figured a lot of these playoff drivers would do, AJ, as well. See if they can stay out long enough to get their bonus points, and then they'll make their pit stop.
It's going to hurt, though, because Opplinger right now is just about 20 seconds back from Daniel Krim. But if Daniel Krim just grabs the fuel and right sides, he might make out pretty good.
Well, and he might not even take tires at all as he's in the fence. But he may not take tires at all, AJ. He may just
who is in the fence?
Get enough fuel to get to the end of the stage and call it a day. And save those tires for later, which, I mean, we've seen here a few times, AJ, with these trucks. Get a couple of cautions late, come on in for some tires, and be really good on the other side. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But I believe your leader is going to be...
It should be Opplinger.
Opplinger here.
Ooh! Both of them kissing the wall out of 3. The 51 and the 12.
Yeah, going to be a pretty gnarly battle here coming to the end of stage.
Daniel Krim coming off pit road. He's going to be relegated back right now to that 10th, about to be 11th position.
Yeah, we've got about a 6-lap shootout here, AJ, to the end of stage number 1. And, of course, the only stage in Extreme Motorsports.
And Opplinger doing a really good job up front, keeping the 12 at bay. Michael Thwaites was our pole sitter this evening. But Justin Opplinger from 4th to 1st. Your biggest mover of the race, the driver of the number 48 plus 9 positions. It's Paul Irvin.
Yeah, that just goes to show how hard it is to pass here at Pocono as well, between pit stops and just being able to pass cars legitimately. Pocono is one of the hardest places to pass on the circuit, it seems like, AJ, because right when you think you've taken 3 or 4 steps forward, you do take a step or 2 back on pit strategy sometimes.
And it's also very much a momentum racetrack. I know short tracks to our mile tracks are really rhythm racetracks, but with these 3 turns and how different these 3 turns are, you very much, if you miss one, you're going to have a really bad
and
run
you
to the next
the
one
entire time down the next straightaway after that. It's almost kind of like running at Le Mans.
Ooh, yeah, good pull.
I mean, you run a lot of... There's a lot of turns at Le Mans, don't get me wrong, but in between those turns, you've got a lot of straightaway time. So you never really get a chance to get into a rhythm there. Now, I know Pocono and Le Mans are 2 totally different beats, but it's a similar concept where after a corner, you have a really long straightaway ahead of you. Now, not so much between turns 2 and 3, but definitely coming out of turn 3, going down the front straightaway, and coming out of turn 1, heading down the back straightaway, or Long Pond straightaway as they call it. But here at Pocono, it really is a rhythmic racetrack. You kind of take what you got from road course racing from a strategy standpoint. You also take from short track racing as far as getting into a rhythm, hitting your marks, the basics of racing itself. And on top of that, oh, by the way, you're going like 190 miles an hour going into turn 1.
And
so you got your super speedway aspect too.
First truck about to go a lap down. That's the 21 of Eric Driggins. Now, good thing for Driggins, we only have about 4 laps to go, and he's got a while to get to Josh Vidal.
Yeah, about a turn worth, maybe even basically about a straightaway worth before he gets to that 26.
So Driggins should get the lucky dog when we hit the stage caution, unless something else happens involving him. But right now, Gary, our closest battle on the racetrack is for that 5th position. You see the 29, 10, and 92 all under a blanket going into turn 1. That's for that 5th position. As there goes the 29, running that middle to high lane, looking for the run out of turn 1. But Ben Corson,
really
he's a little side draft.
Yeah, Ben able to fight really well there in turn 1. If you can't hit the bottom there in turn 1, if you can't hug that yellow line, it's really bumpy right there. And if you don't know how to hit it just right, you're not going to gain a whole lot of time, as they're able to go side by side through the tunnel turn here. Pretty incredible side by side battle we've got going on, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. As the 29 is trying the hard charge on the outside, he does have a teammate right behind him.
He's got a clearing. Look at that. Ben Corson able to make the pass.
And move Ben in that 5th position.
For now.
Yeah.
Could change.
You're right.
Well, I mean, you think about it. You make one mistake, and you're going to lose the spot. I mean, that's just kind of the reality of it. And Pocono can be very, very frustrating that way. You get side by side, you lose a lot of time. You just pass a guy, then you lose more time because you make a mistake. Like it is very hard to lay down the perfect lap at Pocono. As look at the 92. I don't know if he's just letting Paul go there, right there.
Yeah, teammates.
Kind of looked that way. I'm kind of surprised.
And that puts our top 7 all playoff drivers.
Yeah, pretty incredible stuff as you see that right there.
Then you have Daniel Krim in 10th, Matt Cochran in 15th, and Josh Vidal in 20th. Those are your playoff drivers outside of the top 7. Well, it looks like we're just missing 2 playoff drivers, Gary. Dalton Fredericks, and as I'm trying to pull up the list. But so far, we're on our white flag lap here at Pocono Raceway. Going down into turn number 3 for the final time in stage 1.
Yeah, it looks like Mac Rominger and
there you go.
Rominger and Dalton Fredericks. So I believe Rominger, he had to do the update like everybody else did today, and he wasn't able to get his update installed in time.
So Opplinger is going to win the stage here at Pocono Raceway. Thwaites in 2nd, 3rd, Ed Morris, 4th, Caleb Bacon, 5th, Ben Corson, Joe Darnell in 6th, 7th, Paul Irvin, Dustin Carroll in 8th, 9th, Logan Kogar, and 10th, Daniel Krim, as the yellow flag is out. And that is our first caution for Elite Entertainment. Gary, what a fun first stage. And when we return, we'll talk to our stage winner, Justin Opplinger.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit XTREMESCORING.info today.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We're back, everybody. We are under the first Elite Entertainment caution flag of the evening, and that's for the stage. And speaking of the stage, let's talk to the stage winner, Justin Opplinger. Congratulations, dude. You're up. You were up 3 spots. You're up 2 now. How's the race truck and how's the racetrack?
It was very, very good. I just got an EOL for driving through too many stalls.
I was just getting ready to say it, but AJ was talking.
Which I've never really had a problem with or ever came close with, but I guess so. I don't know. I do it the same time or do the same thing every single time, so I don't know. We'll have to see. But I don't know. I guess we'll just reset here, try not to get in a wreck, and make our way back through the field. Truck's handling very well, and dirty air is pretty bad, so that's one thing I'm probably going to have to fight here. So I guess we'll just see how this goes.
Well, good luck the rest of the way, dude. And if you can battle all the way back, I'm really excited to talk to you later on tonight after going through about 15 trucks.
Done for, thank you.
All right, your stage winner, Justin Opplinger. Gary, it's playoffs. You don't want to make those kind of mistakes. Even if you have the capability of an Opplinger or Thwaites, you don't want to make those kind of mistakes and possibly putting yourself behind an 8 ball.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm going back and looking at it. Scott Rambler's up in the tower here tonight. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's 7. I mean, and they're the way they count the pit stalls, folks. Even if you put 1 tire in the pit stall, they count it as you driving through it. So it could be one of those things where I'm kind of looking at it here. I only looked at it once, but it could be one of those things that's what Scott saw, and he had a couple of different angles to review it from. He saw that the left front, or maybe even the left rear tire, maybe even the right front tire, went through a 7th or 8th stall somewhere, and that's where he got bumped for the penalty. So
There we go.
green flag back in the air.
And what a launch by Logan Kogar. Already a truck length lead over. Oh, there goes the 10.
Oh, the 10? No, not Ben 10. Sorry, had to do it.
Oh, he's going to get clipped by Paul Irvin.
It does look like the 10 kind of came down a little bit on him, too.
Oh, yeah. You could tell right from that roof camera angle. But the issue is for Ben 10 is we're going to stay green.
He's going to be on the 10. Easy call there for Scott Rambler there.
Oh, no, the caution came out.
Well, I know, but an easy call for Rambler. He already decided it's on the 10. He's going to get an EOL.
And look at that left front on the 10. It is bouncing.
Yeah, it's bouncing around. He's also got a fender rub on that right front, causing a little bit of a smoke there. A little bit of a fender rub on that machine. So, a lot of damage to that 10 truck. And I mean, he just barely came down the racetrack and cut himself off in front of the 48 machine there. So, it was close, but it was just enough to call it.
And that brings us our second Elite Entertainment caution flag of the evening. Let's see if we can go back and jump on board as we are really slowing up.
Yeah, big check up here at the back of this field.
For the pace truck?
I think so. Yep, here comes the pace truck.
Nyong! Let's see if we can go back and get a look at that Ben Corson wreck. Gonna jump.
Yeah, if you go on board with Paul Irvin, you'll be able to see the whole thing unfold, and it's a pretty easy call. And you'll see why Scott Rambler made the call that he made up there in the admin tower. By the way, Scott, thanks for everything you do.
We'll do it from both. On board with the 48, and there goes the 10.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see there.
On board with Corson now.
Yeah, and I think it was just one of those things where Ben was maybe trying to react and pull the block, and just was a little too late and nonchalant there. And 48 said, "I'm not turning down any further."
Honestly, not gonna lie, kind of surprised the caution came out because he was off into the inside part of the racetrack.
Well, and I was surprised about that too a little bit, AJ. But you got to think they do go 3 and 4 wide down this front straightaway a lot. And they can take up the entire racetrack. And then you've also got cars and trucks that are trying to merge right there, too, coming out of the pits. I'm not saying that's what they were doing on the restart, but I think iRacing kind of takes all of that into account, and that's probably why the caution came out there.
Good point. Good viewpoint. But Kogar currently...
And by the way, folks, the stewards in the tower do not throw yellows. All cautions come from iRacing.
Yes. Correctamundo. Well, we should be getting the 1 to go on this time by Logan Kogar, currently your race leader, followed by Michael Thwaites, Ed Mortis in 3rd, 4th. You have Caleb Bacon, the first Toyota in the field. Joe Darnell in 5th, 6th. You have Dustin Carroll, 7th. Paul Irvin, Daniel Krim in 8th, 9th. Christian DeBoer, Mike Campiggio in 10th. As we're going to have pit stops again, so that's going to completely all change up.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of these guys pit for fuel only here, which is a smart strategy considering...
what's going on with the 25? Why did he just...
what?
They're all passing the pace truck.
Hold on. Apparently, according to Ed Morris, iRacing just signaled everybody to pass the pace car.
I think iRacing is has had
having
too
one
much
of
to
its
drink.
week 14 glitches. It happens every once in a while.
iRacing has had too much to drink.
Yeah, so Scott Rambler making a good call up there in the tower. 1 to green, everybody's going to get double foul and hold their position and clear black flags as needed. So, but back to seeing everybody go down pit road there. Everybody's just topping off on fuel there. A lot of 4, a lot of 5-second pit stops. But for the stage caution, I just want to give a shout out to Logan, though. His pit stop was only 9 seconds. So definitely a 2-tire call there to buy himself some track position. And so far, it's worked out pretty decent for him.
Yeah, it definitely worked. He's plus 12 spots, 13th to 1st. As Michael Thwaites to his outside. Then it's Ed Morris on the inside of row 2 to Caleb Bacon on the outside of row 2. Joe Darnell and Dustin Carroll, row 3. Mike Campigio and Christopher Opplinger, row 4. Then you have 32 of Trenton Branson and Eric Driggins, your top 10. As here we go. There goes the pace truck. We're doing it all over again, everybody. Green flag in the air.
And Logan was able to get such a good launch there on the restart.
Oh, but here comes the cavalry on the outside.
Here comes the cavalry, but Logan able to block off that run a little bit. And he's going to be able to make it stick to turns 1 and 2 as Ed looks to be a little loose. Coming off of turn 1 right there.
Yeah, Caleb Bacon's almost even with him down the back straightaway as they head down into the tunnel turn.
Yeah, and that does happen here a lot at Pocono. Cold tires, you're going to be a little bit loose as we see Ed again getting loose there off of turn number 2. Track temp's only 73 degrees though tonight, AJ, so pretty grippy racetrack for these guys here in the Pocono Mountains.
Yeah, as we're 8 laps shy of halfway. And there goes Logan Kogard.
Trying to break the draft, but it backfired. Oh, maybe it did.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. Everybody else is using the draft behind you. You're hoping that they follow you down there. But here comes Thwaites.
Sometimes breaking the draft really doesn't make you any faster. I'm surprised that Logan is still trying to pull this off, and he's actually going to lose the lead right here going into turn 2. Look at how Thwaites was able to just float that on the high side there out of turn 2, make it stick, and take the lead.
Very smooth for the 12. And here comes the 35 of Caleb Bacon. I think those 2 tires right now for the 25 probably starting to hurt.
Oh, the 21 and the 4 and the 56 in the fence. It was a conga line for the outside wall at the exit of turn 3.
Oh! Went back and took a look at it, and yeah, you weren't kidding, pal. Oh. Some significant body damage on the right side of the number 4 of Matt Cochran. But up front, Michael Thwaites building a lead to Logan Kogar, almost a half a second. Ed Morris in 3rd, Dustin Carroll 4th, Caleb Bacon rounding out that top 5 as that battle for 2nd is really starting to heat up.
Yeah, and it is a battle amongst teammates here. Well, no, never mind. No, they're not. They are not teammates. Sorry, I thought you said battle for the lead. No, battle for 2nd. Those 2 are not teammates. But if they were to battle for the lead, they would be. Talking about the 7 and the 12.
As I know you said this earlier in the race, Gary, we're going to really start to get strung out here, and that starts with everybody basically going single file. But this 2nd through 5th battle we're seeing, and here comes 6, 7, and 8. It's going to be interesting because the back of these packs big runs are coming. As here comes the 51.
Big runs are coming. And I think we're really going to see the draft play into effect about mid-pack is where I think we're going to see a lot of those big runs and those passes the most. Your top 3, you're not going to really see it as much, but for 5th, 6th, and on back into the mid-pack where these guys are battling their brains out, that's when you're really going to see these runs in the draft play a huge key.
And kudos to these 51 of Justin Opplinger. Gets that EOL on the last caution and immediately goes to work, and he's back up to that 7th spot.
Yeah, back up to that 7th spot. And just the way he could get through the center of turn 3 is incredible. I mean, he's one of the best I've noticed on the racetrack of getting through the center in turn 3. Really through the center of all of these corners, but turn 3 really sticks out the most.
Looking for some battles.
Where you're going to make up a lot of your time here, AJ, like I've said all night, it's turn 2. And that's where you can also get that little Pocono stripe is at the exit of turn 2.
Oh, look at the run.
Look at the run. And that run right there, if you get through turn 2 really well, you see Justin Opplinger right there, able to get that really good run and make a dive for the inside of turn 3. Not going to be able to clear that 29 right there. If he had a little bit of drafting help from his brother and his teammate there in the 54, I think Justin maybe would have had a chance to complete that pass. But if he could stay on the quarter panel of the 29, wasn't able to do it there, but if he was able to stay at the quarter panel of the 29 going to 1, he would have had the preferred line.
I think he was also hoping for the 25 since he's staying on the inside part of the racetrack to get a little help from Kogar. Just not working out, but let's see if he's going to try it again.
He's going to get a big, huge run here in turn 2. Look at how he's able to just late apex it. Stays a little bit higher. Gets a pretty decent run. Now, you can get a pretty good run here on the outside of turn 3. Let's see if maybe that's where Opplinger decides to go. This time he does. Goes to that outside lane there, that second lane.
Oh, he's going to have
see if he can get some momentum here. He's going to. Not going to be able to do much with it, though, AJ. And that's where I've always said Pocono's hard to pass. Here he goes. He's setting it up for turn 1 right here. Oh. Nope, not going to be able to quite get there. And again, AJ, I mean, that's where I've talked about it, how it is so hard to pass here. But you see, he's trying everything that he can try to try and set up that pass without moving him.
I think a lot of it is he's showing Darnell that, hey, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Right. Right, and he's trying to set up that run, but it seems like by the time that he gets it to where he can make a move, we're at the end of a straightaway.
As right in front of them, you have the 92 of Carroll
and you notice Darnell, he goes to the outside that turn, that lap there in turn 3, as opposed to the previous lap where he went low. And turn 3 on that outside, you can really defend really well up there.
51's got a little drafting help with the 92.
And not going to be able to quite get it done, though. Teammates, though, side by side, 29, 92. Huh, they're inverted. I just realized that. Oh.
We're only like 4 or 5 races left in the season. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Happens to the worst of us. But we are going to see those cross flags here this time when Michael Thwaites crosses the start-finish line.
Michael Thwaites doing a great job. Just under a second ahead of Ed Morris. Logan Kogar is about a second back from Morris. And then Caleb Bacon is just doing a really good job.
We've got another good battle here for 9th on the speedway here. AJ, between the 5 and the 24. The 5 of Kyle Miller, 24 of Mike Campigio. Mike's been able to defend off Kyle Miller pretty decently here these last couple of laps. The 48's into the fold now. Look at the run the 48's going to get. He's going to go to the inside of the 24. He's going to get his crack at him. But Mike has been able to defend pretty good on that outside lane.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult
here.
here.
In turn number 2, let's see if he's going to have enough grip to come off the corner. He does. Not going to have any run at all. Here comes the 5, the 47, and the 72, all in a train. They're going to try and rail the 24 here.
It looks like Ambigio is going to lose 4 positions in one lap here.
He's going to lose. That was a really bad lap for the 24. And we're done talking about it. Hey.
Broadcaster's curse much?
Probably. And if he watches tonight, he'll see it and he'll probably call me out on it. It's fine. It's fine. So, if you are interested and want to see a driver lose 5 spots, just tell me where to point the camera. We'll go from there, guys.
Just looking back at some of these packs that we have brewing, as battle for the lead now, Ed Morris has caught Michael Thwaites.
And he's able to take it on the outside lane. Pretty impressive here for Ed. And Ed's always run pretty decent here at Pocono, too. I mean, he's run top 5 here in the past, so another solid racetrack here for the driver of the 7.
Now, Gary, just like the regular season, does a win automatically advance you?
Yes, a win will advance you to the next round of the playoffs. So if you win here tonight, you can make your happy butt on your way to the round of 8. And that's why it's so important if you're like 9th, 10th, outside the cut line going into the race here tonight, it was really important for you to come in and run really well, or even possibly win so you could lock yourself in. Yeah, and of course, with the unfortunate effort for Ben tonight, with his damage that he got, one of those things to where, now you have to try again next week.
Yeah, next week we're not going to an easier racetrack. We're doing 175 laps around Iowa.
That we are. Iowa's fun, but it definitely does have its own challenges, especially here in the playoffs. And I think that's why we put a lot of these tracks here that are a little more challenging in the playoffs to test the skill of these drivers. You got Pocono, Iowa, the Charlotte Roval, Michigan, Legacy, Texas, the 2009 version of Texas Motor Speedway, and you also have Dover in here as well to wrap up the season.
It's a great battle we have back here for this 3rd spot, still being held by Logan Kogar on those 2 tires. He's doing a phenomenal job holding on to track position.
Yeah, Logan's done an incredible job, like you said, with the cards that he's dealt himself, and he's running really, really well here tonight. Still inside the top 5, and we're over halfway through this race. We got about 40 to go here. Next time the leader takes the line. So,
thank you everybody for tuning in to All-Star 15 TV's broadcast of the XMS RICMOTECH Truck Series. Live from Pocono Raceway, the first race of the playoffs in the round of 12. As I think that was the 92 of Dustin Carroll hitting the wall out of the tunnel turn. He's going to lose multiple positions as here comes Michael Thwaites down pit road.
Michael Thwaites, and yeah, I was just getting ready to say, the cycle of pit stops is going to get ready to start here. I think you're still 1 pit stop to the end after this one, so wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing Thwaites kind of split this up into thirds a little bit, because we did go green initially with about 60 to go or so, a little bit under that. So pitting here at 40, and then probably get a pit here around with about 20 to go. Do have a pretty exciting battle here between the 5, the 26, and the 24.
As it looks like Campigio's fought all the way back.
Yeah, he's fighting back, and now he's making an impressive dive down to the inside, trying to get to the inside of Kyle Miller. He's going to do it. Let's see if he can keep his momentum up for the exit of the corner. He's definitely going to close in a lot of space there But the 5 just able to keep his momentum up by running that high side there in turn 3. Which is no shock. I mean, the way that the stock cars race nowadays with all the NASCAR vehicles, the trucks, the Xfinity cars, and the Cup cars, that middle lane through turn 3 to keep your momentum up and putting as less steering input as possible through that corner, not really surprising to see the middle lane be as powerful as it is here at Pocono Raceway. And I believe the 5 of Kyle Miller is going to be making his pit stop this time by.
Yes, both Opplingers and Kogar on the pit road, and there they go.
A lot of pit stops here. Yeah, and even the 32, the 26 right here, trying to get to the inside of the 24. He's going to get to his quarter panel. Not going to be able to keep that run. It looks like the 26 got a little bit loose there at the exit of turn 3.
As Bacon, Irvin, and Miller now hitting pit road. Oh, here comes Vidal. Into the tunnel turn. They're going to be side by side.
Yep,
all before pit stops, too.
All before pit stops here. And you want to get as many positions as you can before pit stops, because you can pass them on the track, and then you can pass a couple more down pit road. It's going to be a really good... Oh! Looked like the 72 and the 32 made a little bit of contact. 32's got his rear end pushed in now by the 72.
Oh, and the 4's in the wall. Again, out of 3.
Matt, you got to keep the Chi-Chis out of the wall. We cannot destroy the Chi-Chis. Oh, we got more contact between the 72 and the 32. I think there was a little bit of a payback there by the 32. That's all that was.
Carroll, Morris, and Klein now on pit road.
Yeah, and the 32 definitely does have some aerodynamic damages there on the rear end of that racetrack.
Joe Darnell with 4 seconds. And now hitting pit road as here comes Daniel Krim taking the race lead. As Darnell's taking those 4 tires, here comes Kyle Miller. He's coming off pit road. Wonder if there was some sort of penalty for
24 pitting this side, AJ. You say a penalty for the 5?
He's down a lap and a half.
And might have had to serve a hold there for speeding through the pits, potentially.
Ouch.
But you have the option of either to serve the hold or to do the pass-through. Daniel Krim going to be making his way down pit lane.
Mike Cambiggio and Trenton Branson also hitting pit road here. That's going to give the lead to Josh Vidal, and then a second back to Brant Humphrey, Matt Cochran, and Christian DeBoer. Now your top 4.
Yep, your top 4 here. These 4 drivers have not pitted yet. Everybody else has. Great insight, I know. Master of the obvious, guys. That's me.
Ed Morris, fastest lap of the race, 53:55. That 7
just ran it
is
his last lap.
flying.
Yeah, he just ran that this last time by. But that is not the fastest lap of the race. I don't think. No, it is. It is. You're right. I'm sorry. My apologies. I was looking at somebody else and it was a 54:04. I thought it was a 53:04.
That would be blazing.
That would be holding it wide open at every corner, probably. Man, is this race over yet?
Well, on lap 57, going to 90. Gary, we're just about 30 laps left. And Vidal staying out on the racetrack. When does that 26, the 4, the 56 all hit pit road?
I imagine they're all probably going to pit together now. Some of these guys here, they pitted under that last caution, if you recall. So they might have an extra lap or two in the tank, but that's a maybe there. As I did call that the 22 to 25 laps for fuel, so they're right there to where they're probably going to run out here in the next 2 to 3 laps. So definitely going to be eyeing that pit stall very, very soon. But I will say, I still think Thwaites has the best strategy of cutting the final run in half, pitting them with 40 to go and then probably with 20 to go.
And Thwaites right now in that 4th position with a 2-second lead over Ed Morris. And Ed Morris still, last time by, was 0.3 faster than Thwaites.
There goes everybody. The 4 and the 26 on pit road. 56 is going to take the lead.
They stay out, grab that point. Not in the playoffs, but still fighting for something.
You're still fighting for the highest position and points that you can get. And that's what those guys are fighting for. Now, DeVore kind of joined mid-season, so I think at this point, it's kind of padding his stats and fighting for pride.
When does DeVore hit pit road? Waits is... And just to give you guys a little bit of a what really old tires are compared to relatively new tires. Last time by, Christian DeBoer, a 56.29. He's coming to pit road right now. Michael Thwaites, a 54.30.
Yeah, and Krim was the fastest truck on track that last time by with a 53.90. So definitely some fall off between the beginning of the run to the end of the run for sure. And DeBoer with the longest run of the day. He was able to stretch that 25 laps.
Ooh.
So, I'm good. I'm going to just leave now. Thank you. Good night. That is better than my calculations that I originally had, so we'll take it.
Yeah, I think those calculations you had, what was 18 to 24?
18 to 22, so... But you also got to think, DeBoer did have a little bit of draft there, so being in a wake, it does help you save a couple laps of fuel there, and he showed it there.
Thwaites takes over the race lead, and here comes a hard-charging Ed Morris. Down to just under a second and a half. And while everybody is cycled through pit stops, we are going to take a commercial break. When we return, it'll be all us to the finish for the XMS RICMOTECH Truck Series. We'll be right back, everybody.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's race from Pocono Raceway right here on All-Star 15 TV. Gary, let's say hello to some of our sponsors here on the channel. You can see them running through on the bottom right-hand corner with their logos. AC Cages, Indianapolis, St. Louis, or the Carolinas. If you need to try to keep those pesky animals out, go say hello to Brayton Laster. Does a really good job. Gary, I'll let you talk about the All-Star Sports Resort. What do you got planned for this week?
Well, the All-Star Sports Report this week, I mean, we've got the college football playoff that was officially announced. Selection Sunday. So we'll be talking about that and where Indiana Notre Dame line up. They're playing each other in the first round. We'll talk about who got the buys and all of that, but we're going to be talking about that, some NASCAR news, a little bit of everything. We talk about all sports, so...
How about Juan Soto signing a $765 million
But will the Mets
deal?
win, AJ?
I don't know. That's a lot of money to be thrown to one person.
Money. You know, aren't they still paying what's-his-face too?
Bobby Bonilla every year.
Yeah, that guy. Every year.
Every July 1st.
Hopefully he doesn't become the next Bobby Bonilla.
Jesus. That'd be insane. I'd feel bad for those Mets fans.
Well, what we've all said, what did the Mets stand for?
My entire team sucks.
Or must end the season. Either or. I mean, it depends on who you are and where you're at.
Don't get me wrong. As a Yankee fan, I will say it. Loved having Juan Soto. He's a below-average defender. He's a below-average base runner, but boy, can he hit the height off of a baseball.
Kind of like Aaron Judge. At the beginning of his career. But Aaron Judge has developed his game into a really solid player.
Yeah, he's... honestly, I would throw him probably top 10 at his position in center field. Base running, he's meh. And we have a battle for the lead, and obviously we know about him with hitting.
But yeah, we've also... let's talk about the other sponsors here, AJ. We got the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. What y'all talk about this week on the podcast?
We're going to try to do something Christmassy or holiday with Nerds Miss, but battle for the lead as Bossman taking it over from Michael Thwaites. And don't
Michael
look
Thwaites
now.
not going to go down without a fight, though.
Yeah, well, they need to get moving because here comes the 51. That 51, Justin Opplinger, is running about 2.5 tenths faster than both Ed Morris and Michael Thwaites.
Yeah, he is the fastest truck on the racetrack right now, that 51 machine, making his way up there. We'll see if he has enough laps to take the lead as there's 23 laps to go for him.
And not a lot of time. Not a lot of time at all. You have Logan Kogar sitting in that 4th position. Paul Irvin in that 5th spot. He's plus 12 positions, 17th to 5th. He's currently your biggest move of the race. Dustin Carroll in 6th. Joe Darnell in 7th. Christopher Opplinger in that 8th position. And Caleb Bacon minus 7 from 2nd to 9th. And then Daniel Krim running out that top 10. But up front, it's going to be a battle between all 3 of these drivers, Morris, Thwaites, and Opplinger, as that 51 has bounced completely back from a too many pit stall violation to put himself in another position to win tonight's race.
Yeah, he's definitely had to earn this one if he pulls out on top here tonight. He's got to pass 2 really good drivers as well, in Michael Thwaites and Ed Morris. Look at, I'm telling you, man, there's something about that 51. You saw how he cut through the center of the corner right there. Really good driving there by that 51.
Yeah, and right off of turn 3 with a power move. He is even with Thwaites entering turn number 1. They put Trevor Klein a lap down.
Yeah, looked like Trevor just coming out of the pits there. Let's see if Thwaites can get a run. And while these guys have been battling for second, Ed Morris has been able to see that in his mirror and was able to build himself a little bit of a gap. We'll see what Mr. Thwaites decides to do this time, because he kind of short pit that last run. Let's see if he's going to be doing it again here.
Yeah, he definitely short pit. You're not wrong, but it's
He's doing it.
Compared to Ed Morris and Justin Opplinger, there was only a lap to 3 lap difference. And here comes Logan Kogar as well. This is it.
They were on that same strat the last time, and this is the last pit stop for the evening.
Yeah, this is it, unless we get a caution later down towards the end of the race. But Ed Morris, the 51 of Justin Opplinger, and you could see Trevor Klein right behind both of them as we have a battle for the lead and possibly a pass for the lead down into the tunnel turn.
Yeah, he's going to make that pass for the lead there, the 51 of Justin Opplinger.
He
Going to
made
get
it look
around
easy.
the 7 of Ed Morris.
Made it look very easy.
Yeah, Justin, I think, was being a little bit defensive there to let Ed know, hey, if you're going to make a move, you're going to do it to the outside. You're not going to do it on the inside. Oh, and they're both battling to get down pit road. Who's going to get there? It's going to be Justin. Ed had to really lock it up there to get onto pit road that time.
And that's going to cycle Paul Irvin to the race lead as Caleb Bacon and Christopher Opplinger are both hitting pit road as well. Looks like they're taking all 4.
Yeah, you definitely want all the grip you can in this last run. I mean, you basically have to fill it up with basically a full run to make it to the end.
And Ed Morris gonna beat out the 51 of Justin Opplinger by a good couple truck lengths.
Yeah, and that pit road entry made all the difference in the world for Ed. I mean, I know they were pretty spaced out there before pit road entry, but then Ed was able to really close that up on the 51, and I think that made the difference.
As Paul Irvin, Dustin Carroll, and Daniel Krim now all hitting pit road. Looking at 18 to go here at Pocono Raceway. The first playoff race in the round of 12 for the XMS RICMOTECH Truck Series. As you can see, the 29, Josh Vidal, 7.5 seconds back. Mike Campiggio, 8 seconds back. And 9 seconds back, you have Brent Humphreys. So a big gap from Joe Darnell to everybody else that has yet to pit for the final time here.
Yeah, he did a really good job isolating himself from that gaggle of trucks. And, you know, like you said, last pit stops of the evening, gonna have to make it count when you do come in, as we see the 72 in that group is on pit road.
And so's the 4, Matt Cochran.
Yep, 4 is on pit road. Darnell and Senior are making pit stops this time by.
Yeah, Ed Mortis Sr., the first truck 1 lap down. And you can see the race leader to the 29, to Joe Darnell, right in front of him, putting down pretty decent laps when compared to the end of the run we've seen throughout the race. Just about a 1.5 seconds difference, and there goes the 29. Josh Vidal's going to take the race lead. Mike Campiggio also staying out. So it looks like the 29, this time by, the only truck to hit pit road. This race has been absolutely phenomenal, Gary. 2 cautions, only one of those for incident. And it's been a very much a strategy-filled race. Even with the first stage, we saw people trying to run this race backwards like a road course.
Yeah, we definitely have seen a lot of that here tonight. And you always have to, with Pocono, especially in the day before stages, AJ, you always have to run this race with the end in mind, because the lap here is so long. It's about anywhere from 53 to 55 seconds. You can come down pit road, depending on where you are and how close you are to the leader, without losing a lap. And so that does take a big play into your strategy moves as you get further on into this race.
Just 4 drivers yet to pit for the final time. Josh Vidal, Mike Campiggio, Trenton Branson, and Christian DeBoer. And Michael Thwaites just passed Christian DeBoer with that lap 70 pit stop for the 12. So now it's starting to go in some negative territory for the 56.
Yeah,
he stayed out too long.
Yeah, I think that 56 is probably, after looking at the stopwatch, probably going to be pitting here in the next couple laps, I would imagine. As the 26 and the 24 are both on pit road this time. So that's going to give the lead up to the 32 if he elects to stay out. And
he's going to.
He does. He's going to try and lead a lap.
Yeah, he's going to have to go an extra time by. But Thwaites, under a second to him, might not even get to leading a lap by the time this lap is over with, because that 12 is 2.5 seconds faster a lap.
Yeah, hence the good luck.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to make that happen.
Might not even make it to the tunnel turn.
Nope. Here comes the 12. Yeah, that 12 is on the freshest tires you can get, while the 32 has a little over 20 laps on his tires.
And there's some body damage to that 32 as well, as you can see the back end really caved in.
Yeah, and that was from that contact earlier with the 72. And of course, Trenton hasn't had an opportunity to repair that damage because we've been green. We haven't had a caution a lot.
Wade's
As
gonna
I
take
say
over
that,
the...
no, just kidding.
Wade's is going to take over the race lead like you guys saw. It's 2 seconds back to DeBoer, who still needs to pit. 2.5 seconds back to Ed Morris. And just over 3 seconds back to Justin Opplinger. Right now, Michael Thwaites, your pole sitter this evening, doing a great job to put himself in a position to win tonight's race.
Yeah, we'll see how he'll be able to hold off the 7 and the 51. I know it's not a whole lot of difference between those tires on those guys, but it's enough, I think, here, especially at Pocono. Because this track is pretty abrasive, AJ, on those tires, as we've seen.
You know, just by looking at the fall off we've seen drivers anywhere from 2 seconds to 3 seconds of fall off. But 12 laps to go from Pocono Raceway. And right now, that 12 of Michael Thwaites doing everything he needs to. But just a little bit further back, you have Ed Morris, who was just a tad faster, 0.03 faster than Michael Thwaites. That is 100% not enough. He is hoping for Thwaites to run into some sort of traffic or an issue, as it looks like Kyle Miller just let him by there.
Yeah, Kyle Miller letting him by to lose that lap. He's still got a little bit of a ways. He'd be Michael Thwaites to lapping the next truck, which would be the 32 of Trenton Branson.
We're on
but
board.
If all things go to plan, AJ, if we don't have anything else happen, this race will be done in about 10 minutes.
And it has been an absolutely fantastic race.
Yeah, these guys have been putting on a pretty decent show. I know it doesn't look the flashiest here on TV at home with you guys here on YouTube, but you know, it does put on some pretty good races. Sometimes you just have to go find the battles on the racetrack.
As we've been on board with Michael Thwaites and how consistent this 12 has been.
Ten laps to go here, AJ. Really, the only battle that I can find that's remotely entertaining is going to be this battle for second between the 7 and the 51.
Yeah, that 51 and the 7 just keep trading faster laps each time by. Last time by, it was the 7 over the 51. Before that, it was the 51 over the 7. They've been hovering right around that half a second, separating them two for quite a while now.
Yeah, this is where I mentioned that, you know, Pocono is a hard place to pass because you just get to a point where you get about to a half second within the guy for position, and then it just kind of floats there for the rest of the run.
As Ed Morris shaves another 10th off of Michael Thwaites, down to 2.2.
You're going to need to do more than just tenths here.
And he's going to use Kyle Miller as a little bit of a drafting partner. And it backfired completely heading down into the tunnel turn. I think that 7 very arrow tight going into the tunnel turn.
Yeah, Kyle's just going to get completely out of the way here of the 7 and the 51.
He almost
These two are going to have to battle it out amongst themselves as the 5 is going to come down pit road.
Yeah, he went right up, got out of the way, and just rode the wall. Probably some significant damage on the 5. As 3 tenths now separating the 51 and the 7.
Yeah, I think really at this point, Opplinger's only hope is, well, for the win is a caution, but for second, He's going to have to wait for Ed to make another mistake. If he can just get through turn 2 like he has been, and especially turn 3, AJ, I think that 51's going to be able to blow doors off the 7 truck here.
Well, it's down to a 10th into turn 3. Gonna lose a little bit on entry, but this is where he's been making his money, coming off of turn 3. Back to a 10th.
Yeah, and they're pretty even through 1, but you could tell that Opplinger's pretty good through the tunnel turn and turn 3. So Opplinger really going to have to maintain his distance here going through turn 1, as Ed is a little bit out of the groove there. And the 51's going to get a huge run here because the 7 kind of had to stall himself out there to make sure he didn't hit the fence of the exit in turn 1. Let's see what Justin can do here through the tunnel turn. Right on the back bumper of the 7. Going to make him a little bit arrow tight.
Oh,
get up into the fence even.
Both
you know,
of them.
that's the thing with Ed too, you know. With him being an experienced and veteran driver like he is, being able to force even a really good driver like Justin into a mistake as well. Because you get to that point, AJ, where you're really good at manipulating the air to get the air to do what you want. That's kind of what happened there. I think he was able to just put enough air on the nose of that 51 to make him a little bit arrow tight to hit the fence coming out of turn 2.
Great battle for P2. And here comes another run.
Opplinger able to run him down again in turn 1. We could tell that Opplinger's been good in every corner. Now, this time, he's going to have to make sure that he could stay clean through turn 2 and not hit the fence at the exit again.
Yeah, and I think
all the while this has been going on, with them being nose to tail, they're actually running down the 12 a little bit.
Yeah, they're down to just over a 2-second difference to Michael Thwaites. And I think a little bit of it is the 12 not necessarily pushing it as hard as possible, saving a little bit just in case.
Yeah, just in case he can't manage the gap any longer and he has to race these guys for the win. He's trying to save himself some tires, so he'll be able to do that as we've got 5 to go. Look at Opplinger, just able to send it on the exit so well. He's able to get through center to exit these corners so good. By the time he gets to the end of the straightaway, he can't do anything with the run, as he's basically bump drafting Morris down the long pond straightaway.
Oh, here we go.
Got another run. He's going to try and make a move here, AJ, and I think you have to. 5 to go. It's time to go.
And Ed Morris looks like he lifted early, given the 51
lifted
the
early
position.
To get a good run through the center because he knew that if he could get a late apex like he did, contact, that could happen, where he could get a really good run to try and make a pass on him on exit or do a crossover, and just misjudgment there. And the sub did apologize on the radio to the 51. Let's see, can the 51 run down the 12?
Yeah, they're under 2 seconds, just above a second and a half. They are closing in on Michael Thwaites very fast.
And if I'm Thwaites, I'm a little bit nervous because I think he knows that 51 has been the fastest truck here over the course of a long run all night long.
Down to 1. Wow. Turn 3 has been amazing for Opplinger all night, just like the tunnel turn. Just a second separating both of them going into turn 1. He took off almost 4/10 in 3 last time by.
Yeah, he has to keep doing that in turn 1 and turn 2 this lap. He's going to be able to do it. Thwaites way out of the groove here. Yeah, Justin has done a fantastic job keeping the tires underneath him, especially that right front, to where he's able to rotate the center better than everybody else. And it's really starting to pay off here in these last couple laps, where Justin's now able to just drive a little bit harder and send it. The 12 and the 7 can't afford to do that anymore because they've burned up their stuff.
Down to 4/10 into turn 3.
Look at that late apex there, getting through turn 3. It's the same way I would approach turn 3 here at Pocono Raceway.
He's got the draft too now.
He's definitely got his draft, that is for sure. Popsicle sticks in the air for Barney Flagman. 2 laps to go.
You know, not for nothing, Ed Morris might be in the catbird seat.
Yeah, something happens between the 51 and the 12. Look at that really high line. Justin's able to run through turn 1. Hasn't really done that yet tonight, but able to get a really good run here. Down the long pond straightaway once again, going into the tunnel turn.
Even into the tunnel turn. Neither of them are going to back out of it. But that 51 to the point.
Ooh. Nobody hit the wall. Great job through turn 2 there, guys. Going into turn 3. Coming to the white flag. And that's going to be the white flag sponsored by...
the Wrestling with Nerds podcast. 1 to go from Pocono Raceway. Can Michael Thwaites get to the back bumper of the 51?
51 going to have a little bit... Oh, well, he's able to make the entry of the corner. I was going to say, maybe a shallower entry for Opplinger in turn 1, but he's still going to be able to get the proper arc that he's supposed to get, and I think it's just...
it's
turn
over.
Out the lights. The party's over. For the 51 here. Probably, unless he makes a critical error, probably going to, blow out the candles, man. He's going to win this race.
What a race for Justin Opplinger to be penalized, to have to go to the back, to fight his whole way through the field, through pit stops, through a caution flag, to win tonight's race. The first race of the playoffs goes to Justin Opplinger.
From 21st to 1st, it's going to be Justin Opplinger here, AJ. Second place, Michael Thwaites. And third is going to be Ed Morris.
What a great battle. I can't wait to talk to him. This race, absolutely phenomenal on multiple aspects. Not just for the 51, going from the front to the back to the front. Everybody doing a great job keeping their trucks going, for the most part, in the right direction. And the battling we saw all night long makes me very excited for tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night's race should be very good. The Xfinity cars always put on a decent show here at Pocono, so definitely going to be looking forward to that. But, AJ, as the 51 is getting ready to burn it down...
Let's talk
looks like we've gathered up our top 3 finishers here.
Let's talk to P3, the driver of the number 7, the wonderful Ed Morris. Ed, it's AJ and Gary in the broadcast booth. Congratulations on the podium finish here this evening. How was it out there on the racetrack?
Oh man, it was a blast. I love Pocono. This track race is so great. It's a very technical track, and it takes some time to learn and learn how to drive it to be fast here. But man, it was an awesome race. Only one caution right after the stage there. Green flag pit stop strategy. The front runners up there, man, Mike and Justin and us. Some of us were kind of playing a different strategy, and it was just kind of fun to see what this thing would do. I completely blown away by what the tires did. They did the opposite of what I anticipated them to, but hey, you can't complain about a podium opening up into the playoffs.
No, you cannot. You're in the playoffs, putting yourself in a really good position, leaving Pocono. Next week, we go to Iowa, though. What are we expecting from you and the 7 team as you guys try to further your advancement in the playoffs?
We hope for another weekend like this. Just go out there, do the best that we can, and hope for a strong finish. And I'm good at Iowa. Iowa's another fun track that I enjoy as well. So maybe we might even be able to get a win next week. We was close this week, just didn't have enough.
All right, brother. Well, talk about the wonderful sponsors you got before we let you go celebrate the podium finish.
Yeah, man, just a big shout out to RICMOTECH, Frank, and all his guys down there. All their support and everything that they do for us. If you're in need of some sim racing gear or support, reach out to those guys. They are the place that you need to go for just about anything sim racing related. So RICMOTECH, RICMOTECH.com. Shout out to everybody here at Extreme Motorsports, all the admins, all the staff, everybody that kind of makes this league happen. Appreciate it to those guys. You guys for doing the broadcast. Tremendous job. I appreciate it, AJ. And then all the drivers and all the fans, everybody's here every week. Thank you.
All right, brother. Well, good luck. Enjoy the week, and congratulations once again on the podium finish.
Thanks, man.
All right, Gary, you can take care of P2. Go for it, pal.
All right. Down here with Michael Thwaites. Michael, what happened, man? You didn't get the win.
I know, man.
That was pretty tough there at the end. I mean, did you use up all your stuff, I guess?
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah. I kept seeing that I was, every lap I was kind of either pulling away from or like keeping the time kind of or the distance kind of the same. So I was just still going really hard, and I just burnt my stuff up just went way too hard.
Do you think it was after initially coming out of pit road there, those first maybe 3 to 5 laps there? Do you think that's what killed you, or do you think it was maybe sometime toward the middle to the end of that run there that prevented you from going to victory lane here tonight?
I think it was just really pushing it hard the whole run. Because actually, I feel like the first couple laps coming off of pit road there was actually probably the best start to a run I've had in the race, because I didn't get sideways on any corner or anything or slide the tires. So I think it was just the whole run just pushing too hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we go to Iowa next week. We're going to corn country. Talk about your chances there. You always run pretty good at Iowa too. So what do you think about Iowa next week?
We'll see. It's been a while, and I definitely haven't run these trucks on there with this package. So that'll be interesting to see.
All right. Well, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give before we let you go celebrate P2?
Yeah, my teammates, Ed, what he does for the league, XTREME, RICMOTECH. What you guys do in the booth. Appreciate it. I think that's it.
All right. Well, congratulations on P2. We'll see you next week at Iowa.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you.
And I believe AJ has caught up with the winner in virtual victory lane here, Justin Opplinger.
The man of the hour, fighting all the way back up towards the front. Not saying I called the shot when we talked to you at the stage, but dude, great job. How fast was that 51 truck to just Tetris your way up through the field, and then just put on a great show when you finally got to Ed Morris and then Michael Thwaites?
Yeah, it was a pretty damn fast truck. I'd say it made it a lot more difficult, though, dealing with that dirty air. I kind of got stalled out there right after the stage, around like 6th or 7th. It was just really difficult once your tires wore out a little bit and everyone was kind of running that second lane, and you couldn't really get around them because you couldn't be able to run. But yeah, I don't know. It was just pretty chaotic. I didn't think I was ever going to catch Michael at all near the end. I just was kind of riding with Ed because he was saving a decent amount, and that's what I was really focusing on. And just hoping that Michael burned his stuff up, but we got around Ed. I was going to ride behind him and see if we could catch him, and then he decided to let me by, and we almost spun. He hit me square, but we weren't off the corner all the way, and he just said he was trying to push me, but that I'm glad we didn't wreck. But finally caught Michael there I didn't think I was ever going to catch him, but finally caught him near the end and raced it out.
Dude, it was so much fun to watch you get through the field and those last 15 or so laps. After the win tonight, we're going to throw these trucks back up on the haulers and head out west to Iowa. What are we expecting from the 51 out there now that you've punched your ticket to the round of 8?
Yeah, just probably try and pull out another win. I won there in the last season I ran with XMS in the Xfinity Series. And I led a lot of laps there. So I got a pretty good idea of the track there. It's multi-groove as well, so I expect some good racing and some good battling and different strategies. But mainly we're just trying to stay out of trouble. I won't, help my teammate out as much. Caleb Bacon, he's in the playoffs still, and just try and get a win, stay out of people's way, don't cause any harm.
All right, brother, before we let you go, talk about those beautiful sponsors.
First of all, I'd like to give a big thanks to the good Lord above, my mom and dad for allowing me to have a sim in the first place, everyone on Axis Racing team for all their help, you guys putting on the broadcast, All-Star 15 TV, RICMOTECH sim equipment. Thank you them for sponsoring the series and all they do for Extreme, and all our admins and race control.
Yeah, dude. Well, we'll talk to you hopefully at Iowa. Congratulations once again on the win.
Thank you very much.
All right, Gary, take us home, pal.
Yeah, I thought it was a great race here tonight at Pocono Raceway. I think it summed it up best. Had a lot of strategies, had some penalties, had some great side-by-side action overall, but ultimately, again, it comes down to the best driver that could save the tires at the end of the race, and that was Justin Opplinger tonight, able to pass Ed Morris and Michael Thwaites there in the closing 5 laps to get it done. And really, all night long had a battle basically from 21st to 1st to take the win here tonight after the stage with this pit road penalty. But really excited for Iowa next week in the Truck Series. But most importantly, I'm excited tomorrow for the Xfinity Series. We're going to have the number 27 W Chevrolet out there tomorrow night for Warrior Enterprises. So really looking forward to that. Our first race of the playoffs as well, and I think it's going to be just as good of a show, if not hopefully a little bit better than the Truck Boys.
Yeah, a little bias there, don't you think?
A little bias, All
right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you all here. If you haven't hit that like button, subscribe, follow. Check us out tomorrow night for the RICMOTECH Xfinity Series, where we're running it all the way back. Another 90 laps here at Pocono Raceway. But until then, take care, be good, and we'll see you on the next broadcast, everybody.
Good night, Canada.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.